Hello and welcome to a new episode of This Is My Offer, the AWS webinar series that gives our partners a chance to talk about what they offer to their customers. I'm Moni Panchavadi and I'm the worldwide partner architect for travel and hospitality within AWS. Today we will be talking with ZS Associates, and this is their second appearance in This Is My Offer. ZS is a travel and hospitality competency partner who also holds generative AI competency and many other designations from AWS. Joining me today from ZS is John Balamuta, Associate Partner at ZS. John will be presenting the Agentic Concierge solutions. Welcome, John. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Moni. Great to be here.
ZS is a great consulting partner working closely with AWS for many years. John, would you tell our audience what ZS does and how you support the travel and hospitality industry?
Sure. First, a little context on ZS. We're a global consulting and technology company that partners with companies to improve life and how we live it. So we're unique in that we bridge strategy and execution. So our tech team has deep domain expertise and understands business problems inside and out. In travel and hospitality, we work with many of the major suppliers and intermediaries to shape commercial strategy, inform decisions with AI, and enable execution on AWS. We have, of course, as you mentioned, travel and hospitality competency, as well as others, including generative AI, data analytics, and beyond.
That's awesome. Tell me about the Agentic Concierge solution. What is it and what value does it bring for the travel and hospitality companies that AWS works with?
So Agentic Concierge represents the next stage of customer and partner interaction in the age of AI. We've seen a mandate across clients to be more and more efficient, while at the same time maintaining and improving customer experience. So we realized that we were using AI more and more to solve just part of that. So the improving efficiency bit. Saving human time spent on routine tasks like managing bookings and triaging requests, and saving that time, that human time, for the interactions that really matter. Now, at the same time, customers, be they guest, passenger, or partner, still had a really fragmented experience. We'd made things better for one channel or one use case, but that experience was different depending on whether they called or emailed, or who the customer talked to. So Agentic Concierge was born to solve this dual need, both maintaining a consistent customer experience across channels and interactions, while at the same time using AI to optimize the impact of that human time and expertise.
Very good, very good. I understand that you use Bedrock and other AWS services. So tell me about how it works.
Perfect. I have just the slide for that. So let's pull that up. So Agentic Concierge supports many different client personas or customer personas. So in this example, we're going to talk about hospitality, but this applies across industries, sub-industries of travel and hospitality. So you can see on the left, an example here is guests, franchisees, OTA partners, and travel agents. And they interact with the brand company through multiple channels. Here, the examples are call, WhatsApp, and email. So WhatsApp, funny enough, given our work with hospitality brand companies, we worked directly with a number of franchisees. And what we observed was that WhatsApp was actually their primary means of interaction. And so it was really high on our priority list when we thought about channels for this solution. Now, of course, we also support other channels like call and text. So if you move a little bit to the right in the diagram, you can see the concierge orchestrator. And this is what we think of as the Agentic Concierge. And this concierge is what maintains the interaction with the customer. So keeping their context throughout in individual interaction or subsequent interactions, and drawing on other agents in order to execute requests. So you can see examples of those execution agents to the right. So here we've shown search, reservation management, loyalty, but there are many others. So for example, rate plan, investigation. Depending on the request type and persona, the concierge orchestrator routes appropriately and manages that full response. So, of course, we need the ability for a human to take over. So you can see the ticketing system in the upper right hand. That maintains a seamless handoff between AI concierge and the human agent. Now, a few things to call out here on the bottom that are important. You can see that Amazon Connect is core to our support of telephony, and we use Lex for intent recognition. Now, I'm sure we've all had the experience of calling in and getting a phone tree or something that was really robotic. Now, Lex helps us have a really natural conversation when someone interacts with us over the phone. And we'll see that in a moment as we do the walkthrough. Of course, the foundation of the AI for Agentic Concierge is Amazon Bedrock, pun intended. Now, I could talk about this for ages, but maybe it's just best for us to see it.
That sounds good. Very interesting. I'm curious. So let's look at a few examples. Walk me through it, please.
Great. So let's start the video. And the first few examples will be the guest persona. So you can see here, the guest, we're logging into this walkthrough interface, and we're going directly to WhatsApp. So here the guest has reached out to the hotel concierge over WhatsApp to plan a trip to New York. And you can see that they're asking for a number of different places to stay, and the Agentic Concierge responds with a number of options. So the guest reviews those options and responds back with their preference for the stay. And you can see that once they do that, the concierge acknowledges that request and the details of the request and asks for confirmation. Once the guest confirms, that booking is made, and you can see that they receive a confirmation email. Now, we know this guest, so we don't have to ask them to log in or ask them for their email address in this situation. Now, sometimes we forget, right? We make a reservation and we really need it to be something different. So in this case, the guest wanted the reservation to last an additional day. And so they want to extend their stay by 1 day. And here you can see they're sending an email to the Agentic Concierge to do just that. So they're requesting a modification to their reservation by 1 day. You can see the email has been sent with that request to Agentic Concierge, and you can see the response with that acknowledgement and the update to their reservation. Now, sometimes we forget, the details of what we've requested or what we've set up, and a really comfortable way to ask about that is through WhatsApp. So here the guest, that same reservation, is asking the Agentic Concierge about the booking that they've had, and they can see the concierge responds back with the status. In this case, they realize, hey, guest number 2 in my reservation actually has a special day during our stay. We'd like to get them a chocolate cake for their birthday. And so the guest requests that, and we defer to a live agent to address that request. All right. Now we shift over to intent recognition call. So let's listen.
Welcome to Agentic Concierge. We're glad to have you here. To help us serve you better, may I know your name?
My name is Michael Anderson.
Thanks. Could you please let me know if you're a guest, a travel management representative, an OTA partner, or part of the franchise team?
I am a guest.
Normally,
thanks for sharing. Welcome. How can I help you? I can check your booking details, help modify or cancel a reservation, give you a price estimate, or assist with your profile and loyalty details.
I want to cancel a booking.
Please share the booking ID you want to cancel.
BK167.
Hello, Michael Anderson. I see that you have a confirmed booking for a standard room for 2 guests, checking in on February 10th, 2026, and checking out on February 13th, 2026, with a total cost of $480. If you wish to cancel, please note that a cancellation fee of $40 will apply, making the new total $440. Could you
Notice all-
please confirm if you would like to proceed with the cancellation? Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Checking that for you. Okay, give me just a moment, please. Thank you for your request to cancel booking BK167. Please note that a cancellation charge of $40 will apply, and the refundable amount is $440. A confirmation email with the refund details will be sent to you shortly. Your cancellation request has been recorded, and we hope to host you again soon. If there's anything else you need help with related to bookings, profile details, or cost estimates, just say yes. If not, you can end the call anytime.
You can never be too sure of the details. You heard all those confirmations, and you can see there's an email confirmation of the cancellation. But just to be doubly sure, we'll also check this in WhatsApp. So you can see the guest checks in WhatsApp to double confirm that the reservation's been canceled, and the concierge confirms that cancellation. So now we'll shift to a new persona, the travel agent. And the travel agent is trying to book on behalf of one of their guests, and the rate code that they're using isn't working. So this is common, and it takes a lot of time and effort to investigate and triage these types of requests right at headquarters. So you can see that as the travel agent, we're drafting an email to the Agentic Concierge, which will review the request, we'll triage it, create a ticket, and as appropriate, assign it for investigation. So you can see as we title the email and then we send it, we'll soon see that we sent the email, and we'll see a confirmation from Agentic Concierge that the email is received. Now, normally it isn't resolved quite this quickly because there might need to be a person involved to lend their expertise, but here you can see both the acknowledgement and the next steps. As I mentioned, it's important to track these things, not just for this use case with the travel agent, but across the board in case we need to make this handoff. So you can see there's some details that are being tracked in Jira, just an example of one of many ticketing systems that we integrate with to enable that seamless handoff between the Agentic Concierge and the human agents. So the last example we want to walk through is a franchisee. Here, a common use case is that you've remodeled the lobby and you've adjusted, you've made changes to the pool, and as a result, you have some new photos that you want to make sure show up in all of the channels of distribution. Now, this is really important because the better your photos look, the better your content score is, the higher you're listed on those different channels, and the more likely folks are to book. So it directly impacts your revenue. And I'm sure we all have this experience. We shop with our eyes. So you can see in this case, the franchisee is writing an email to the Agentic Concierge where they're sharing a link to a drive location where these photos are located. You can see that email has been sent, and then you can see the acknowledgement and the next steps from the Agentic Concierge. So the final thing we'll walk through is this backend of an admin dashboard. We'll customize this to your particular situation. If you have systems that manage this already, we'll use those. In this case, we find that it's useful to have a single place to view all the different requests, all the touch points with each type of customer. So you can see we have, for this hospitality example, a section focused on guests where we track each of the interactions that we've had via human and via AI agent. And we see in context kind of their details. This is all integrated with the support tickets that they've had, right? And we can sort and filter by urgency and type. This is also true for partner requests, as you can see on the other tab. And finally, after we review the business, we can see there's one last section in this admin dashboard in the backend where we can review trends that we're seeing over time for the interaction. This helps us improve not only our human process, but also feeds into kind of additional capabilities we might want to add in the future. And so with that, we'll wrap the walkthrough.
John, that's impressive. I appreciate you showing the ability to confirm the cancellation was done. Whenever there is a cancellation and refund is involved, I am paranoid. So the ability to check through WhatsApp, hey, was that cancellation truly done? That is very cool. That is very cool. And you already showed the integration with WhatsApp, the Jira, the chat. For a customer who is interested in a different type of integration, is it easy to add additional integration?
Absolutely, it is. So I mentioned a little bit earlier, we didn't show it in the example here, but we also support chat and messaging out of the box. But we'll work with you. It's relatively low lift to build additional integrations.
That's very good. That's very good. For travel and hospitality companies that are interested in learning more, how can they get in touch with you?
So good news, Agentic Concierge is listed on AWS Marketplace. So if you search for Agentic Concierge by ZS and pull up our listing, you can see a way to get in touch with us there. Now, I know I've mentioned this a few times before. The example we walk through is focused on hospitality, but this applies to all of the sub-industries of travel and hospitality. So we're happy to work with you and discuss how we can tailor this for your company's situation.
Thanks, John. Thanks for saying that. I was thinking in my mind, I see applicability of this in all sub-industries of travel and hospitality. So I totally agree with you. So what does an engagement with ZS normally look like, and how can a customer get started?
So we like to start with a pilot to show value. And what that means is we typically pick one or two channels and we pick a use case. And then we work together with you to collect data and build a business case in order to scale that impact. We work closely with AWS and with your teams on integration, on adoption and change management, so you can move quickly from that vision to real revenue impact.
That's very good. I'm pretty impressed, John. John, I want to thank you for taking time to talk with me today on this episode of This Is My Offer. You have a great product here. I wish you the very best. I will see you out there soon.
Thanks, Moni. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you to our audience for joining us today. I hope you found this session valuable. We'll be back with a new brand episode of This Is My Offer very soon. Please stay tuned and thank you for joining us today.